This is Inside the Station of WRMU. We are the host and co-host of Starcasters on the Airwaves, Kristina Zorich and Georgia McCartney. This is our awesome shirt for the show.
It is.
And it has her two characters, Rosanna and Russell, and my baby Quinn is in the middle.
Yep.
And the back has all of our links to all of our web pages and stuff that our lovely Georgia drew and made on her shirt.
Yeah. So yeah, this is what it actually looks like. So I'm glad you guys get a look. Oh, do you have one of your... No, you don't have your button.
No, I removed the button.
Oh. Those have buttons.
Yeah.
That's Liam and Abigail. Aren't they cute?
They're adorable.
So,
After that lovely product placement,
yes. Elizabeth is our camera person and she'll be asking us questions.
Alright. So I'm just going to give you a prompt and you're going to talk about it.
sounds good.
I want to know
Why are we so serious?
how you won't remain that way for long. I want to know how you come up with your plots. Because you've had a wide variety of them with many twists and turns. So how do you do that?
Randomness.
I feel like, are you asking both of us? Or
I'm asking both of you.
Should one of us go first, or?
You want to go first?
Sure. For me personally, I'll just speak for myself then. How I come up with plots is... First I kind of come up with characters and throw them into different situations. I'm like, okay, what to me would be interesting to see in a character? And I kind of look for things that are unique that you don't see that often. And then I feel like even if you have a unique character and they're even if they're just in a normal everyday environment, they can still make it excitable and interesting because they're an interesting character in a normal environment. And sometimes you can throw a more normal character in a interesting environment, but I usually work the other way. So basically things just that catch my interest, I just write about and hope it'll catch other people's interest too. That's honestly what I do.
Mine? Plot. Well, I don't even think about it. It just kind of happens. You know, I always have a rule. I have a rule where when we write, the rule is that whatever comes to you first, you keep. That is my rule.
I
Most
feel
of the time.
disrespectful because I kind of go back on that with you sometimes because
Well, sometimes we have to.
Yeah, because like for editing purposes, when it's if we hit a snag in our writing, we're like, oh, this doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, we have to go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, first instinct that come to your head, like,
Yeah.
like,
helps.
don't go back because that's what the character's telling you to do. And sometimes, like, Georgia will be doing this over Skype and she'll be like, oh, what does Quinn think about this? I don't think about it until she asks. Or she'll be like, oh, what do you think he'll do once this happens? I'm like, I don't know, dude. When I write, I'll know.
Because I am the biggest fangirl for my own stuff. I'm really pretentious because that's what I do when I'm bored. I just daydream about my characters and plots and things, and then she's got me like hooked on our story. So I'm like, I gotta know what happens. I can't even wait till we write next time. I gotta know what happens. So that's why I ask you. I'm like, what would Quinn do? I need a preview because you're like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, no, tell me what Quinn would do. And you're like, I don't know, man.
I honestly don't know until I'm writing it, and then it just comes to me.
Yeah.
Like that whole cake scene, I was just like, genius. And it honestly just comes to me. Plot. I think of a really simple scenario, like when they first met at the bar. I'm like, hey, meet at the bar. Hey, masquerade party. Everything else, the setting is what I have to think of first, and then plot comes later.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's how I work.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just comes to me. As long as I know where they are and the basic, like this one, I don't remember his name. This one director that I really like. And literally he writes less than half of the script. He says the scene, what needs to happen, what characters are in it, and he's like, hey, do this scene for me, we're gonna film for you.
Cool.
And they'll film like a week, and the movie's done.
Wow.
That's like how I work in my brain.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is what kind of gonna happen, I don't know what's gonna do, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Cool. Yeah, it kind of happens a little bit that way too because I'll usually come up with my stories in summaries. It's like, this happens to this character. And then once I have this summary down in my head, I'll sit down and I'm like, now I gotta elaborate. And I'm kind of condensed with my narration. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, no, you stop, yeah.
Yeah, because, I don't know, it feels like as long as I just get the point across, that, yeah, I'm not very interested in too much else. I'm like, I want the point across, and here's what this character says. I mean, I feel it's short, but it works.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
I know we should probably take narration out most of it, because it's a radio show. But I'm like, you need to know how beautiful they are.
Yeah,
and we need Jamie to have something to do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jamie's just so lovely.
Yeah,
I mean, she can do other things, but we have to have Jamie as a lovely narrator.
Exactly. It's a thing
title.
Now. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
I honestly try to keep our narration down to a minimum. Like,
I've
because,
yeah,
you're not going to know some of the things in the Quinn and Russell script unless it gets described, because you don't have a sound effect for time travel. You just don't.
You don't.
You don't. And you don't have time oh, if you fast forward in time, it sounds like this. Sometimes you need it. So, I feel it's okay in some places, but not excessively, like...
Yeah, we've been doing better on that.
I feel, like, I feel like...
now.
Yeah, I feel like the first script, we needed a little work, but now I think we've achieved a good point. Yeah. We're not describing eyelashes, even though we might, in our own time, we can do that.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping those fun parts, by the way. Yeah, you kill me.
All right, we've transitioned nicely into the writing process.
Yeah.
How do you approach writing your infamous plot twists? How do you drop hints? I mean, when you're actually writing.
Keyboard.
Wait, what?
When you're actually writing, not when you're thinking them up, but when you're actually writing them.
When we write our plot twists?
Yes. How do you approach those?
We usually know about it. I usually tell you what's gonna happen, just because that's the way I work. Because I'll tell you, and then sometimes you'll have a better idea, and then we'll combine them. But if I have an idea in mind, and I'm like, okay, I need to surprise Kristina here, like in the.
What was the surprise? I forget that one of the last script.
The surprise, no, not in this last script, but the script where Quinn told Russell he was a con man, and Russell was like conflicted because he said I was gonna find out the con man and turn him in and get the reward money so I could buy an engagement ring for Rosanna. That I just piled that on you, and we're freaking out, keyboard mashing and everything. This is you on your keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was.
but
Like the cake thing, even though you wanted that to happen, it was still a surprise.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I knew that would happen. I feel like we've surprised each other's other place. Oh, the plot twist when I was describing Russell, and it's like, oh, he's getting these memories back, and I'm like, I left it up in the air for you. I'm like, does Quinn see these memories too, or does he not? So I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm like, okay, I want to see where Kristina takes this. And then she's like, Quinn sees them. I'm like, oh gosh, stuff just got serious. And Quinn runs out. I'm like, I'm a terrible person, but I love this.